Hello everyone, welcome back. In the last episode we built this nifty little underwater pre-constructed, prefabricated base module. We attached it to a power generator, electromagnetic power generator over there, where that star is. We're going to connect our uranium mineral extractor to this base also, over by where that navigation marker is. And we're going to go swim through some radioactive soup to get there. Make sure we've got the resources we need before we go. We do. Excellent. In fact, let's just swim with it out. That way we'll know when we've gotten too far away from our base and need to stop moving. We are close enough that we shouldn't have to use any tricks to extend our build range. Basically, if you want to extend build range, you just need to build structures out toward the direction you're trying to extend the build range in. So you could build like a little road or something like that out of floor tiles or something, or paving stones when we're using prefabs like we're using right now. We're going to get as close as we can. Alright, then we're going to engage the build camera, and we should be able to get the rest of the distance. We're going up a hill, so that might, maybe not. Maybe not. Work with me. Well, let's see. Let's see how much altitude we can get before we get too far away. Excellent. Now we should be able to get enough altitude to see the exact spot we want to put this on. A little difficult to judge at this distance. And if we wanted to be perfectly efficient and land that directly on the very center of the deposit, we would go and extend our base's build range. But if we're off by a few percent, we'll be okay. We're not going to need tons and tons of uranium. Just that little dot should be where the center of the structure is. I think we're in the right spot there. Now, as I was saying, we don't need too much. We don't need... Oh, that beam of light's kind of really in the way. We don't need too much uranium. We need a little for the trade goods we want to manufacture, and we need a little for fueling our ship. So honestly, maybe 2 extractors will be enough, even at a low efficiency location like that. I'll experiment with that off camera, figure it out, and after I've prettied up the base a little bit, I'll make a stop here in a future video so you can see what the finished product looks like. We might have a little time to do a little bit of base building here today in this video. Jetpacking, water movement is really slow, and there's no way around it. When you're building a base, you basically have to move on foot. Alright, so once we get close, we should be able to see the power connectors. There it is. Now that's going to leave a long blue streak for us to follow. We can erase our electrical wiring with the base structure. It'll still be there, but we won't have to look at it. That'll be nice. Normally I kind of try to keep those power lines tucked close to the ground, but it's pretty difficult when you're building at the edge of your build range like we're building in this base. So we're just going to erase those wires once we finish the construction. Getting, I think, pretty close to where our build limit is. So the next step is going to be to set up a supply pipe. We'll know we've reached the edge of that build limit when there we go, the little camera streak from our exosuit turns red. There it is. Alright. Oh yeah, we need to get up to the surface. That should take us straight up. Alright, we've still got a green line. I think we built, yes we did. We built our mineral extractor with the output pipe junction, or whatever you want to call it, attachment spot pointing toward us, so that made that easy, unlike when we were attaching the power. This also has a connection length limit. There we go. And we have not yet set up a storage silo to receive this pipe, so I guess we'll have to drop it just outside of the base. We're actually going to be a little bit more careful to hide this pipe, because we can't erase it like we can the other. Looks like that's about as far as we can go before we come out of the dirt. So we're going to keep that close to the ground, at least as much as we can. A little hard to do underwater. Got a little bit of a downward slope. Might be able, yeah, we might be able to get part of that underground again. Put it up there. That should be enough to get us in the rest of the way. Maybe we'll do a couple more pieces. Yeah, I'll do a couple more pieces, trying to keep it as close to the ground as possible. If it has to change elevation much, you can end up with it floating way above the ground, and that's not very attractive. Let's stop there. We'll get a storage silo in. Let's look at our prefabricated modules. Let's see. I guess we could use cuboid rooms. We could make some glass cuboids. To do that, we're going to need a tunnel. Put one tunnel there, and see if we can attach it to a glass cuboid room. We can. Great. Looks like we're a little off the ground, so let's stick a foundation strut underneath it so it doesn't look like it's floating in the air. And then we're going to need a second cuboid room, at least, to hold the storage silo inside. Maybe we should stick a door on the other side of this. Alright. Resources. We'll go here. Let's engage our build camera so we can get a little closer. Try to aim that right in the center of the room. Don't know if we're radially in the center. Might have our legs pointing off in a weird direction. They are pointed a little off center, but not too bad. Doesn't really look too bad. Only 2 or 3 degrees off. Let's see if it fits in the room that we built for it. It does. Alright. These storage silos don't need power. They just need to be connected to the pipe, or to the, what do you call it, the extractor by a pipe. So, we want to connect it through the glass. Let's see here. That looks okay. Build camera out. See if we can find a way to look at that. Looks like it's going through the rim of that window. Not a huge fan of that look. Let's do it like this. Yeah, that's okay. Cover up the place where it joins with that seagrass. These things can look a little silly. The place where they change direction sometimes. Here we did okay. It doesn't look too bad. But there where we're making a big angle change, you can kind of see there. There's a gap. Doesn't look very good, so I like to hide those. Alright. So we now have a storage silo and a powered extractor. That is everything that we need, strictly speaking, for this base to function. It's telling us that we get 247 an hour, so it's going to take us almost 5 hours to fill this storage silo. Now, one of the things that we're going to be farming, growing to make these trade goods has a 16-hour grow cycle, so we have plenty of production time in a day. We probably don't even need to stick down a second mineral extractor, because I've had the same 1,000 uranium. Well, now I've probably used maybe 1,500 uranium in this entire character's career in my ship. A bit more than that in my environment protection suit. The this battery, this extra, I'm going to call it an overshield for my hazard protection. You see that little square icon just above the orange hazard bar. That's a supplementary energy shield that is used before the hazard protection. That can be refueled with uranium, and I've actually used quite a bit of uranium on that while I've been building the bases on this planet. We now have 3 bases on this planet. There's the one we're in, there's one that we're not able to pull up. There it is. There's one over there. That's a base where we're picking up I forget. Now that's our base where we're getting oxygen. We're getting a metal too, I think, but I forget which metal it is. And then there's the other base that you've seen where we're getting radon and magnetized ferrite. So now we have uranium as well. We've picked up just about everything we can pick up on this planet. This is something I should have mentioned in the first episode. When you're looking for places to build one of these resource extraction bases, you can only get metals from the mineral extractors that show up on this list here on your planet, or this list here when you're mousing over it in the system. This is the same one that shows up when we're flying around out in our ship out in space when we look at a planet. So mineral extractors can grab any of these three. That's what the other base has, the one you haven't seen. It has activated copper and oxygen. And activated copper is, well, we can get chromatic metal out of that if we need it. We can refine it into chromatic metal, so I decided to grab some of that too. So we are now harvesting all three minerals on this planet. And we've got oxygen and radon, which I suspect are all the gases we're going to be able to pick up on this planet as well. There are two other gases we could be harvesting, sulfurine and nitrogen. We'll probably have to go to other planets to find those. So now we've got a really nice network of resource gathering on this planet, and we've got our refiner base over where we're harvesting magnetized ferrite. So I think we're about done with this planet. We're about ready to start going out and exploring again. So we probably can look forward to some of that in our next video. We'll go see some new planets, get out of this tired old yellow place, but before we do, we'll pretty this base up a little bit. I think I'm going to make this an amphibious base. Part of it's going to be underwater and part of it's going to be above water. And once I've finished my design for the base, we'll make sure it gets a few minutes in a future video as well. I'm hoping it'll look pretty cool. I'm hoping it'll be fun to take a tour of later. But anyway, that's about our time for today. Thank you all for coming again. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great one. And until next time, goodbye.